Hello everyone, welcome to Synthesis IAS Academy, a place where blend of ideas take place. And about me, I am Sandeep Bhushan and my credentials are I have 10 years of teaching experience for civil services and I take up issue based current affairs. And my session will certainly help you to crack prelims and mains examinations, because throughout my session I would be emphasizing on the keywords and the key phrases, and these keywords and key phrases will certainly make you get into the practice of identifying the factual, analytical and conceptual questions for the preliminary examination. And while you imbibe the keywords and the key phrases in your answer writing, thereby your answers would be precise and concise, and you would certainly score higher marks in the mains examinations. So therefore my session will guide you to clear prelims and mains both for the year 2020 as well as 2021. So do follow my entire session completely and do get benefited by my issue based current affairs. And today's topic is the history of the struggle of Nagas. So we will be looking at the struggle of Nagas, the entire history of the struggle of Nagas. And when we are focusing at the topic, that is the history of the struggle of Nagas, we will certainly look at a long road which has been taken up for the peace which has been concluded in the year 2015 and prior to that also. So we will be focusing right from 1819 till the Naga peace talks, which has taken a bump, which has hit a road bump in the year 2020, that is in the month of August. So we will be discussing at length, exhaustively, the entire Nagaland, the long road to peace and the Naga peace which has taken a bump recently, that is in the month of August 2020. So when we look at this, that is the Nagaland, a long road to peace. So we will first go back to when this has actually started. So this has started, the entire issue in regards to the Nagaland or Nagalim. Now what actually the entire they are trying to get into have a greater Nagaland or Nagalim. So we will go back or date back to 1918, wherein there was a movement which has started, and the entire journey of what we are talking about, the peace process which has taken a bump, that is on August 2020, the movement has started, or the journey has started in the year 1980 with an ethnic Naga movement. And this movement which has started in the year 1918 is called as the ethnic Naga movement. And this ethnic Naga movement, they have started the journey in 1918 with the formation of Naga Club. So first, initially, the formation of the movement was with the formation of Naga Club, or the ethnic Naga movement has started with the formation of the Naga Club with a 20 Naga members, and these 20 Naga members were part of the French Labour Corps, wherein these French Labour Corps, these 20 Naga members who have served in the World War I in Europe. So we are dating back to 1914. So wherein the first World War has taken place, and these 20 Naga members were part of the French Labour Corps who have served in the World War I in Europe. So taking that entire knowledge of the wartime, these 20 Naga members have been motivated and they have initiated a movement called as ethnic Naga movement, and in turn gradually they have formed the club called as Naga Club. And especially this World War I, or else the European battlefield, has provided them the wartime knowledge which has actually motivated them to have a politically organized, and they certainly got into the mode of a distinct ethnic entity. So definitely European battlefield, that is the World War I, has certainly given a wartime knowledge and motivated the ethnic Naga movement or the 20 Naga members to form a Naga Club. So what we would be talking, or what we are talking today about, NSCN IM or NSCN K, Kaplan or Isak and Mua, you have the basis, that is in from the Naga Club, which has started in the year 1918. and slowly this has aroused India feeling of Naga nationalism. Look at it, the Naga club of the ethnic Naga movement, slowly or gradually it has aroused into a feeling of the entire nationalism, that is the Naga nationalism, and later on it shaped into an idea of Naga nation itself. So Naga club into a Naga nationalism and then into a Naga nation itself, and then this Naga club have submitted a memorandum to Simon Commission in the year 1929. So we will look at what was the memorandum which was submitted by the Naga club to the Simon Commission in the 1929, wherein they feel that this Naga club feel that the people of Naga areas and those of the mainland India, that is the Naga area and then the entire mainland of India, they say that they have nothing in common. So they are making it very clear in the memorandum which was submitted to the Simon Commission in the year 1929 that the culture or the people of Naga areas to that of the mainland and of India had nothing in common between them, and hence they wanted Nagas should be left alone. That means they are certainly going ahead with the concept of Naga nationalism and Naga nation itself. So definitely they wanted to be freed from the mainland India because they have nothing in common with the Naga people, comparing it with the mainland of India. And in 1946 a Naga National Council was formed, which was a successor to the Naga club. So I have said initially with 20 members Naga club has been formed, and then later on in the year 1946 this was termed, or it was later on formed as a Naga National Council, NNC, under the leadership of, or it was formed under the leadership of AZ Fizo, and this person is AZ Fizo. And AZ Fizo, with the collaboration of other 8 Nagas or Naga groups, they have declared Naga independence on when? August 14, 1947, the same day, same year when India has got independence from the British rule. The same day, the NNC along with 8 other Nagas have declared Naga independence on August 14, 1947. And in 1951, the NNC, the leader of the NNC, that is AZ Fizo, has argued in the name of the Naga National Council and on behalf of the people of citizen of Nagaland. He said, I wish to make our stand, our national position clear. So he was very determined in the year 1951 that in the name of the Naga National Council, like we have in the name of our country, that is India or Bharat, the same way he has taken the argument and he has said that in the name of Naga National Council and on the behalf of the people and citizens of India, we say, there he said Nagaland, I wish to make our stand and our national position clear, and he is very clear that he wanted a separate sovereign state of Nagaland. And definitely he was, the NNC and other 8 Naga groups were struggling for a separate sovereign state of Nagaland in a democratic way through constitutional means, as it's so called. That means they were actually terming it as we are a democratic people and we are struggling for a sovereign state of Nagaland in a democratic way, and that too through constitutional means. And they say we shall continue to do so for the separate sovereign state of Nagaland. And on June 28 of 1947, you have an agreement which was signed by the governor of Assam and the NNC, by the governor of Assam and by the NNC, in which Nagas had right to freely develop themselves as it was respected. So definitely there was an agreement, and this agreement is a key word for the prelims as well as mains from UPSC perspective. So Akbar Hydari agreement was signed between the governor of Assam, not government of India, governor of Assam, who was then Sir Akbar Hydari, and that's the agreement was with the NNC, and in that it was very clearly mentioned that the Nagas have the right to freely develop themselves. But however, there was one clause which had really caused a lot of tension, and then later on it was this clause which was interpreted by the NNC, that is Naga National Council, that it was terminating its sovereignty, and then in turn in the year 1955 they have taken up arms against India, or they wanted to be sovereign. And what does this clause 9 of the Hydri Agreement says? That it has created divisions, because it stated that the governor of Assam will act as an agent of the government of Indian Union. The governor of Assam will act as an agent of the government of Indian Union and will have the responsibility for a period of 10 years from the time of the June 27, 28, 1947 to ensure what? Will have the special responsibility for 10 years to ensure the observance of the agreement. And after the end of 10 years, that if the Naga Council would wish to extend the agreement, that is Hydri Agreement, well and good, or further they wanted a new agreement regarding the future of the Naga people. So it was very clear that the governor of Assam was acting an agent of the government of Indian Union, which they did not like it, and this was interpreted by the NNC as it was terminating its sovereignty, because as per the Hydri Agreement it was Nagas were given right to freely develop, but as it was clause of 9 very clearly by the NNC, it has interpreted that it has terminated its sovereignty. And then later on in the year 1955 the Naga National Council has taken up arms and it has started revolting against India, and then the Indian security forces have responded with counter-insurgency operations, wherein the NNC in the year 1955 had taken up arms, and then they started revolting against India. And this has made it very clear because of the counter-insurgency operations which was resulted, and then later on gradually it has gone ahead with imposition of the Assam Disturbed Areas Act. This is a keyword. So later on, because of the NNC which has taken up arms and the Indian security forces have countered them, and this operation when it has actually taken up, and later on the Assam was, or the area which the NNC have taken up arms in regards to the Naga Hills, the government has come up with an act called as Assam Disturbed Areas Act on the Naga Hills on August 27, 1955. So this is crucial, or this is very critical information, that is the act, Assam Disturbed Areas Act. Why? Because this act itself has become later on in the year 1958 as the AFSA, or Armed Forces Special Powers Act, AFSA. So this is the one which there is lot of hue and cry, which we have seen it in Nagaland or northeastern states, and again in Jammu and Kashmir also. So the Armed Forces Special Powers Act 1958, which has actually come into existence, is the route wherein we have in the Assam Disturbed Areas Act. And then later on the AFSA was also further amended in the year 1972. And again further in the year 1963 there was a mechanism for a conflict resolution. There was a mechanism for the conflict resolution, because definitely there was lot of hue and cry against the government of India, against the mainland India, that the Nagaland or Nagas would wish to have the sovereign land. And to end that, there was a mechanism, or there was a conflict resolution which has come up, and then this conflict resolution mechanism is nothing but the formation or the establishment of the Nagaland state in the year 1963. So they have created the new state has been formed in the year 1963, and this was a mechanism for conflict resolution to make sure that the Nagas will not go ahead with a aggressive revolt against the Indian government or Indian security forces. But yet the insurgency continued. the insurgency continued, even though after establishing of the new state, that is Nagaland state, in the year 1963, and most Nagas inhabited areas were left outside the purview of new state. So if you look at this, what is now, if you look at the map of Nagaland, what the Naga says is the entire Naga population, which were actually should be part of the Nagaland, but now the Nagaland state, what the Naga says is the many of the Nagas have been left outside the Nagaland state, that is why now the Nagas wanted a greater Nagalim, or greater Nagaland, or a greater Nagaland. That means the Naga speaking or the Naga culture areas which are outside the Nagaland state, which could be part of Manipur and then Tripura also, should be joined together and formed a new state that is called as Greater Nagalim or Greater Nagaland. That is what the main concern is. That is why still the insurgency is continued, because they wanted a new area to be designated, demarcated, so that a Greater Nagalim state can be formed. And in the year 1964, a Nagaland peace mission was created, and this was a ceasefire agreement which was signed in the year 1968. So look at it, how the issue of the revolt has been gradually trying to be resolved, but yet we can see that there is no final solution for the Nagas or the struggle or what they really wanted. And after years of violence, again when we had the ceasefire agreement in the year 1964, there was still violence which was going on, and there was another effort for peace to be restored back in Nagaland, and thereby a new accord has come into existence in the year 1975, that is called as Shillong Accord. And according to the Shillong Accord, the Naga National Council members have agreed to give up violence. So as per the Shillong Accord, or according to which among the following accords, the Naga National Council members have agreed to give up their violence and accept the Indian Constitution. It is as per the Shillong Accord of 1975. And then you have later on, when this accord has been finalized by the NNC, few of the members of the NNC did not like the accord or the Shillong Accord being signed by the NNC, and there was a clash between the members of the NNC itself. Because they felt that the NNC or the Shillong Accord itself is a complete sellout of what they actually wanted, that is the sovereignty of the Nagaland, and hence a group has revolted again against the NNC. That is two members, that is Muha or Tuungaleng Muha and then Isak Chisiswo. So both have them did not like the Shillong Accord, and they have completely revolted against the NNC, and they have come out of it, they broken out of it, and NNC was later on formed as, or they both have formed another group called as National Socialist Council of Nagaland in the year 1980. So NSCN has been formed after the Shillong Accord, which did not liked by the members of the NNC, and Muha and Isak have founded the NSCN, that is National Socialist Council of Nagaland, in the year 1980. And further again, there was certainly a disturbance between the NSCN itself, as we have seen initially in Naga Club, and then NNC, and then now NSCN, and then later on again there was disturbance between the NSCN itself, and then it was split into two groups. It is called as NSCN-K and NSCN-IM. That is, NSCN-K is being led by Kaplan, a person, name of the person called as Kaplan K. NSCN-IM is Isak and Muha. So again there was split in the NSCN, which was found after the Shillong Accord, which was not liked by the members of the NNC. That is, Isaac and Mua founded NSCN in 1980, and NSCN was again split into two, that is NSCN K Kaplan, name of the person, NSCN IM, that is Isaac and Mua, in the year 1988. And then we have seen that later on, after the history of struggle, a long prolonged history of struggle, there was definitely a peace accord which has taken place, that is called as Naga Peace Accord, was signed on August 3rd, that is in the year 1977. We have seen this accord wherein NSCN IM, that is Isaac and Mua, have held that ceasefire by signing in the year 1997. So a Naga Peace Accord. So Shillong Accord, please you understand, Shillong Accord, you have it, and then again here we have Shillong Accord in the year 1975, and then later on again Naga Peace Accord in the year 1997. And NSCN IM has signed that. See, here we are talking about accord, Naga Peace Accord, but later on in the year 2001, NSCN IM, that is Isaac and Mua group, have signed an agreement with the center, that is Government of India. With the Government of India, they have signed a ceasefire agreement that they will not revolt against the government itself, and then they will agree the Indian Constitution. And the ceasefire by NSCN IM attained a greater significance because NSCN K, that is Kaplan, has abrogated, that is it has moved out of the ceasefire on March 27, 2015. So simultaneously, along with the NSCN IM, NSCN K has also gone ahead with the ceasefire agreements with the Government of India. But in the year 2015, NSCN K has abrogated the ceasefire agreement which was signed between NSCN K and the government. NSCN K and the government. And then after 2015, when NSCN K has abrogated the ceasefire agreement, NSCN IM, that is a group which has been led by Isaac and Mua, has attained greater significance in the center with the Government of India. And definitely NSCN K, whose leader Kaplan has failed to maintain any unity with the group. But if you look at the NSCN IM, the leaders of the NSCN IM have cadres which have stayed within since 1988, and then they have moved forward with making sure that the ceasefire agreement they have followed or they have accepted it. And now we will look at the recent incident which has taken place in the month of August 2020, that everything was smooth. Even NSCN K, which has abrogated the ceasefire agreement with the Government of India in the year 2015, but still NSCN IM, that is Isaac and Mua, have gone ahead with continuing with the ceasefire agreement with the Government of India. But definitely now we will look at what has taken place to the Naga peace talks. It has certainly hit a road bump because the Naga peace talks has hit a bump, or it has the side of it was a rough weather, because that there was a detailed meeting which has taken place in New Delhi on August 10, 2020. There was a detailed meeting with two intelligence bureaus, IBs, in New Delhi on August 10, 2020, and the Isaac Mua faction, that is the NSCN IM group, which is the largest Naga group, which has signed the framework agreement or the ceasefire agreement which was signed between NSCN IM and the Government of India in the year 2015, reportedly peeved in the sense it was annoyed. Now we will look at why there was a road bump to the Naga peace talks. The reason is because the interlocutor, then R.N. Ravi, who was instrumental, he is Ravi, is a former IB official. Now he is the governor of Nagaland. But then when he was an interlocutor, and he has actually played a crucial role in making sure that the NSCN IM signed the framework agreement on August 3rd, 2015. But as the governor of Nagaland, this has really created a problem to the NSC and IM, because the NSC and IM, they were annoyed or irritated by the RN Ravi, and they wanted him to be removed from the position. Fine, as he was the one who has signed on behalf of the center as an IB official. Now we will look at why Isaac and Mua or Mua. See, this person is Mua. He is Mua and he is Ravi, RN Ravi. And RN Ravi or Mr. Ravi has in the position of Nagaland's governor, he has written a letter on June 16 to the Nagaland Chief Minister saying that there are over half a dozen armed gangs which are running the respective, or they are creating a lot of problem, and they are definitely creating a challenge to the government or to the legitimacy of the state government itself. And this was mentioned in a letter which was written by the Nagaland governor Ravi to the Nagaland chief minister, and this was not liked. And this letter of June 16, and there was another letter on July 7th, wherein in that letter it was asking the government officials to declare whether their family members or relative members have any connection with any underground organization. So the letters of June 16 and July 16 has really created troubles in the entire framework agreement of NSC and IM. And then definitely the letter of the Nagaland governor suggested that NSC and IM as an armed gang, and this has created an insult to the leadership of NSC and IM. Therefore, they wanted to make sure that there would be a resignation by Ravi, or they have to remove N. Ravi from the position of the governor of Nagaland. And if you look at right from 1819 itself and now August 2020, still there is a struggle going on in regards to the Naga, in recognition to their history, in recognition to the dignity and culture. And definitely this is a 102-year-old Naga struggle which we have focused now in our discussion, but still the core issue of the Nagas is not still settled. So we hope that the history, dignity and culture of Nagas will be recognized, and the 102 years or 102 years of Naga struggle will be settled as soon as possible. And therefore the struggle will not be a struggle, but it will be a peaceful resolution. And I hope this was, or the entire issue based topic in regards to the long road of Naga struggle was very informative, knowledgeable, and then you would certainly have an edge over others both in prelims as well as mains examination. And this entire NSCN or Naga struggle itself, that is very useful for mains examination UPSC perspective in regards to the GS paper 3, internal security GS paper 3. So I hope it was very informative and knowledgeable, and I would thank you all and a good luck to everyone. And then before you sign off, do like the video, share the video and subscribe the video of Synthesis IAS Academy, where blend of ideas do take place. And I would come up with a new topic which will be certainly helpful, knowledgeable for UPSC prelims as well as mains examinations. Thank you very much.